Welcome to The Favorites, presented by DraftKings. We are an Action Network podcast. I'm Brandon Kravitz, joined by my fellow DGens, your crew here at The Favorites, Kendra Middleton, and the Prime Minister of Degenerate Nation, the one and only Stuckey. On today's show, we're going to submit our official plays for Week 4 in the NFL, sides, totals, props, parlays. Everything is on the table. Like and subscribe wherever it is that you are tuned in. I made sure to look this up pre-podcast. We are in a waxing crescent moon right now. The moon has been the most profitable thing about this show so far. We are changing the name of our three-leg parlay as well. The Three Musketeers will be put 6 feet under after today. But Kendra, any moon angles before we get off and running? We got a lot of good stuff today.
No moon angles. People hated on me so much for the moon angle. I'm not a moon gambler, but I thought that I love like a silly little reason to bet on something. And that's what I took from that. It worked out for me. No doubt I will continue to have silly little hee hee ha ha angles from here, but I love something stupid to bet on. So here we are. No moon bets for me, but the moon bets are not dead. They're not in bet jail. They'll be back.
I'm a little surprised that we don't have some sort of, and maybe we'll think of one before the end of the episode. We've got 3 ideas that we like as far as what to name our 3-leg parlay. We each nominate 2 picks and then go around the horn and then whittle that down one apiece is what we've been doing. Only one of the legs has hit so far in the 2 weeks that we've done this. I think we probably should shoehorn some sort of moon reference because of how well that played out last week with Jared Goff. So something to think about. Thursday's show is loaded up. We're going to start with the Shrimply Unbelievable Stat of the Week, courtesy of Action Network Director of Research, Evan Abrams. Shout out to Kendra's Rainbow Shrimp, Monica Lashrimsky, and OJ Shrimpson on the research
Still
team.
pregnant.
Due date, do we have any? Is there any sort of...
I check her every hour. I just fed her to see if she'll come out and show me if that thing is still thanging. So we'll see.
Stuckey, what about you? I know you also have a pregnant wife, so there's a lot of pregnancy on this show.
Pregnant wife, dog off surgery. It's rough. I always bring a question for Thursday episodes for you
Please.
guys. So my question is, well, I have 2 questions. One, out of all the places you've ever visited in your life, where would you go if you had to go back to one and you had a free, like all expenses paid trip? Where are you choosing? Kendra, I'll start with you.
Hvar, Croatia. Next question. The best place I've ever been.
Well, yeah, I mean, you gotta give like one sentence about it.
Yeah, I need
okay.
to know
Sorry,
why
my bad.
Croatia.
It was okay. It changed how I eat prosciutto. I can't eat prosciutto the same way. It is the truffle, prosciutto, and wine there. So good, so cheap. The beaches are incredible. The nightlife is awesome. They have like a private island where you get on you pay $20 to get on a boat, and then you go and there's a club, and they have some of the best DJs in the world, and then you boat back when you're hammered at the end of the night, which can get a little dicey after a night of drinking. But the food's really
What
good.
was the town again?
Hvar, Hvar.
Is that near like Split or Dubrovnik or
So
Zagreb?
Dubrovnik is like it's like one of the islands off the coast. Split is like obviously like a little bit more north and inward, but you could definitely hit Dubrovnik. I think I took like an hour and a half boat from Dubrovnik to Hvar, and you can just island hop. It's the best.
Got it. Yeah, Croatia's on my list to go to. I've never
best.
been. I've been fortunate enough to travel to a lot of places. My easy answer for this is the Galapagos Islands. That's the craziest place I've ever been to. You got to go to Ecuador first. I mean, it is in Ecuador, but you got to go to mainland Ecuador. You got to get like checked. You can't bring any plastics.
You can't bring any plastic?
Yeah, they like search all your things. You can't bring any seeds. There's no plastics on the island, so like it's a serious check.
What do you do about sunscreen?
Stuff. They have like special sunscreen there you can buy. And you go to Quito first. Quito was pretty cool. We were there when like we were staying right by the presidential palace, and one of the guys running for president was assassinated. And I woke up, I got an email from the State Department. They were like, don't go outside, avoid.
Wow.
Dude, I'm right by the presidential palace. But
yeah.
we went to, then we went to the Galapagos Islands for 10 days, stayed in a bunch of the islands. Coolest place I've ever been to. No, animals are not afraid of you. The coolest experience I've ever had happened in the Galapagos. I swam with a group of baby sea lions, like snorkeling, and they were just playing with me, and then the big mom came and just like looked, swam with like
Ah,
these big sea turtles. Like none of the animals are afraid of you. Like you would just there would be like you'd be sitting on a bench and like a seal would plop up on the bench next to you.
oh my God.
It was
That might
insane.
jump to the top of my list because I'm such an animal person. I went to Costa Rica
Oh,
last
if you're
year
an animal
just to
person, you
see
have to
animals.
go.
Yeah, I'm the biggest. I mean, I am getting a spider and I am breeding shrimp right now. So yes.
Yeah, it
That's
is. It's an insane place. Even the birds, the boobies, the blue-footed boobies. The it's a magical place. So that would be
Stucky, big boob guy.
I didn't even
my
know you
easy
could
choice.
visit the Galapagos. I just thought that that was something in that Darwin wrote about. I didn't know that this was
Yeah, there's a
a
bunch of
tourist
islands you could stay
destination.
on. There's like hotels. There's some really nice hotels. And we stayed in this one hotel on one of the islands. Like we had the top floor, and it was like all open, and like these enormous birds would just you could sit on your deck and they would fly, and it was all open on the water. Oh my God, it was crazy. Um, but yeah, like the little towns are cool. So yeah, that was incredible. How about you, Brandon? What are you choosing?
It's a tough choice. I mean, my cheesy answer for a betting podcast would be Las Vegas. I've been there twice, two completely different experiences. I went there on a non-bachelor party. My friend was set to get married. I planned his bachelor party. I was the best man. His fiance cheated on him right before the wedding and right before we left for the trip. So just imagine what that was like in Las Vegas, the non-bachelor party, where you are playing by no rules at that point with a very angry individual, rightfully so. And then I also went on a work trip through one of my other freelance partners. So two completely different experiences, both great. Still haven't gone there with my wife, so I think that that would be like the third leg of how to appreciate Las Vegas to do the shows and all of that stuff. But Jamaica, I've also done twice. That's an incredible place. So I met Vanessa Lachey, which is really random, at some outdoor beach party. She was drunk, very funny individual. But the food there is tremendous. The jerk chicken I could eat all
Yeah,
day,
love
twice
love
on
me some
Sunday.
jerk chicken. Yeah, I've been Costa Rica is really cool.
It's
Um,
okay. It's expensive and overrated.
I stayed in a resort when I went to Costa Rica. I've been there other times, but I stayed at like this Secrets All Inclusive resort, which was pretty cool. Um, the but yeah, I mean I've been to Vegas I don't know 100 times. If you ever go to Vegas, either one of you or anyone else out there, every year I'll put out this huge list, most underrated food city. If you like know the right people, even off the strip. I can give you a whole list by category of food of all that, and it changes every year too, because it's depending on where the chefs move. But I know a couple people in the food industry there. So
I'll be
next
there
time you
for
go,
the Grand Prix. Hit me up.
I will. Yeah, I'll give you a list. I'll tweet that out soon, an updated list of all of the restaurants there. But all right, I'll save my next question for the next podcast.
Okay,
Okay. I
perfect.
got, I kind of like this tradition now because Stuckey comes out left field with these questions. So that's definitely entering the rundown moving forward. But let's hit the shrimply unbelievable stat of the week. Last 15 years, we've had 7 teams who have had a win total of 10 or more in the preseason fall to 1-3 straight up, none of which have made the playoffs. The two teams that could end up fitting this mold would be Kansas City and Baltimore. They play each other on Sunday. The Chiefs are minus 200 to make the playoffs, plus 160 to miss over at DraftKings. The Ravens are minus 1200 to make the playoffs, plus 200 to miss. Are you willing to take a shot on either of those to miss the playoffs right now as it stands? And perhaps the better question is Sunday's game an elimination game? Stucky, where are you at on this?
No, it's not an elimination game, but I mean teams that start 0 and 3 only have historically made the playoffs 1% of the time. But if I had to bet one of those teams to not make it, it would be the Chiefs. I can't bet the Ravens this weekend. They have too many injuries. Like, I still don't know unlikely Ricard, so their offense isn't the same. Their guards are struggling. And then defensively, without Van Noy, without Matabuke, who might be out for an extended period of time, they got to go get someone. They got to trade for like Dexter Lawrence or someone. Their defensive line, their whole defensive line didn't practice yesterday, is in shambles. They can't stop the run. They can't get pressure. It's a mess right now in a short week. So I can't bet them here as a 2.5 point road favorite. But if I had to take a shot, I would go no on the Chiefs, just because I think the Chiefs are a worse team, number one. Uh, and I know they're probably going to get Rice and Worthy back and have them both back, but their division's tougher. Like, there's no Burrow for the Bengals. I don't think the Steelers are any good, and then the Browns. So, like, the Ravens have a much easier path, whereas the Chargers already beat the Chiefs, already have a game in hand. You have the Broncos, who are a pretty good team with a win total that was around 9.5. I think the Raiders, if they can figure out their offensive line and uh, some of the coaching stuff that has gone awry, they're not going to be an easy out. So that division, I think, is much tougher, which might make the path a little more difficult for the Chiefs, who are, I think, a worse team than the Ravens. But the Baltimore has to get healthy. But I don't think it's a must win for either. But uh, you don't want to be 1-3. It's not, you don't have room for error. Your margin for error gets much thinner. Like, if you have injuries and, like, you can't every game then becomes even more critical.
I actually gave out in August on my other show, KC, to miss the playoffs. And people called me a DEI hire and stupid. And I have all of their comments saved, locked and loaded, ready for that to happen. I do kind of think it's a must win for Kansas City just because their division's a lot tougher. Like Stuckey said, I think Baltimore is going to be fine. That division is not as strong, in my opinion, as it has been in recent years. I do think that they'll be okay, even if they lose this game, but it's borderline must win for the Chiefs.
Yeah, it does feel like their back is up against it. And I originally, when this line came out, and even before we saw the Lions run up and down the field on the Ravens, it felt like this is going to be a Chiefs spot, home underdog, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, all of those things that we've said 100 times already. I just can't pull the trigger on it. I don't trust this Chiefs team enough the way that they're currently composed, and the fact that the Ravens got run out of the building makes this feel like almost a Ravens spot. The Ravens are a far better team. Derrick Henry has fumble issues, yes, but can the Chiefs offensively keep up with Baltimore? I just don't think that they can. So
I don't either.
I think I'm gonna sit on the sidelines for that game. As
Yeah, so it's
big
okay
as
to
it is.
pass. It's okay
Yeah,
to pass. You're going to get the best effort of both staffs, both
right.
like it's I do think it's an elimination for the 1 seed. Both teams are already behind the 8 ball, especially with the Ravens, who already lost to the Bills, who have an easy schedule, easy division. But either one of these teams starts 1-3, you can pretty much kiss home field advantage throughout the playoffs goodbye, which is obviously uber critical in the AFC.
I'm
Uh,
all over the Ravens this week.
so you're all in on Baltimore.
Yeah, I think
No
that this is a
hesitation for you.
Yeah, I think this is a Baltimore spot. We talked about it the other day. I figured you guys would be all in on once again the Patrick Mahomes dog at home angle, but I think that this is a great spot for Baltimore. And do I want to play in Kansas City against Patrick Mahomes when he really needs a win? No, absolutely not. But the Baltimore offense, I don't see Derrick Henry fumbling this week. Their offense is lights out. Obviously, their defense can make some improvements, but the thing is that the Chiefs, they're not healthy. They don't have the weapons to keep up with them right now. I get the home field advantage thing, the Patrick Mahomes angle, all of it, but Baltimore is the best team in the league right now, in my opinion, when everybody plays to their strengths, plays to what they're capable of. And I just don't see them coming off of the schedule that they've had and losing this game.
Where are we at on Metabuke? Because that was huge on Monday night. I don't think the Chiefs are good enough running the football. Pacheco has been terrible. Kareem Hunt's been bad. I don't think they're good enough to take advantage of that absence, but it would still be big because if the Chiefs can run, then I would feel a whole lot better about backing them. I'm going to lay off of the game, but where are we at in terms of the middle of that defense, Stuckey?
We don't. The whole D line is hurt, so we don't know. The ominous updates from Harbaugh who said he's out this week. He doesn't know. So people in Baltimore are thinking that it could be a long-term thing. So that might have to be addressed with a signing or a trade. So we'll see. TBD.
Update on the quarterbacks, some of the real line movers out there. Jackson Dart is going to get the start ahead of Russell Wilson in New York. They take on the undefeated Chargers on Sunday. I want to bet the Giants here. I'll save my reasoning for the back end of the episode because they're one that I'm going to pitch to you guys. The most heavily bet games this week so far. Of course, one of them is going to be this one. I think anytime the Giants are involved, that's going to be the case. but the John Harbaugh seems to be getting a lot of action. One of the most heavily bet games, Chargers, Giants, everybody seems to be in on Harbaugh. Any hesitation backing the rook here for you, Kendra?
I almost got to the window on this game just because of Harbaugh against rookie quarterbacks, but with that combined with I think that the locker room really is going to rally behind Jackson. I think that the Giants defense has played really well in the last couple of weeks. I think that that's the saving grace of that team. Russ really screwed them over last week. It seems like they were getting stops, getting off the field, that whole bit, giving them opportunities to go ahead. I think that this rallies that team a little bit. Numbers too big. Don't love the Harbaugh against rookie quarterback angle. So close to getting there for me. If this line moved a little bit more potentially, I don't think I can touch it. I was telling Gifford before we got on the show, the spreads this week are just way too huge. Not my favorite betting week. Everything feels yucky, way too big. I'm not having a good time.
And we've seen a lot of line moves as well. One of the things to monitor with that Giants game is Malik Neighbors did not practice. I don't know how serious that issue is, but if he doesn't play, that would be huge. Andrew Thomas has been in and out of the lineup. He was limited. And the Giants still have kicker issues as well. So there are reasons to be concerned outside of the Giants just not being overall a good football team. But it does seem like if you end up on the Chargers, just know public Joe over here if you do that, because the public's going to be all over the LA Chargers. Carson Wentz, undefeated overseas. He's 1-0. He takes on Aaron Rodgers, who has never won a game across the pond. 0-2 for him. Are we sitting this one out? This has been all Vikings money so far, Stuckey.
Yeah, in regards to the Giants, I like the Giants. I'm waiting on the neighbors news. Thomas is just resting. I think he'll be a full go. He looked great in the first half. He was just on a snap count. The Chargers have three offensive linemen who were DNPs yesterday in practice. That could potentially ruin the game for them. But I'm waiting. It's at 6.5. I'm going to see if a 7 pops. Monitor the injury reports. Watch the market. But I think I will be on the Giants. Winless teams as dogs in this range have historically performed really well. Now, a lot of variance in this game because we don't know what we're going to get from Dart, but it's going to be better than Russ. And they're going to have at least have a kicker. They signed Young Uncle. They'll have a kicker that's healthy. They didn't have a kicker against the Chiefs. Cost them multiple scores. So yeah, I think the uncertainty with Dart too, like the Chargers don't know what they're going to get, like what kind of read options and what's everything going to look like. So that could work in the Giants' favor. Uh, so yeah, with the Chargers' offensive line injuries, they might not be able to block New York, and it really crumbled their offense last week after those guys went out against Denver, and the Giants have a similar front. In regards to the Vikings, I did play the Vikings. Uh, I think here, look, the Vikings are much healthier. They should get their offensive line, except for Jackson at guard, back healthy. They're going to get Addison back. Wentz, I think, is an upgrade over McCarthy, as I alluded to last week. And then defensively, they're fairly healthy. The Steelers are not, dealing with a lot of injuries. The Steelers should be 0-3. Like, really. They should be 0-3, and this line would be up over a field goal. Here's how I think it plays out. Is Steelers have a very predictable single high defense. Like they're running that like 60, 65, 70% of the time. That's not what you don't want to have a predictable offense when you're going up against O'Connell and those weapons and injuries on your defense. So I think they'll be able to run the ball too. So I think the Vikings will be able to move the ball. The Steelers can't run it. They can't protect. And they're going up against Brian Flores. They're going to be in known passing situations. And Aaron Rodgers has been the worst quarterback in the league against pressure this season. I think he's 6 of 22 with 3 interceptions. It's been horrendous. And it's not like there's no recourse. He can't move. So I don't know what they're going to do. I think Rodgers gets suffocated under the pressure. Vikings, even with Wentz, are able to move the ball. I'll take the Vikings at under a field goal.
I kind of like the Steelers here. No money from me yet, but I was really thinking about it this morning. I like the Tomlin as a dog situation. I always like that angle. But my other thing is that Carson Wentz will fumble the ball. If they have any opportunity to recover a fumble from him, I think that bodes well for the Steelers. But I did learn something interesting this morning. I guess you remember guys how I was talking about my angle that whatever team gets there first is who I will back. I learned today that there's a new rule in 2025 with the NFL where both teams have to arrive on the same day for games overseas.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
I hate that. I hate that so much. Like there's no, like when they go West Coast to East Coast, there's no day that you have to get there. I hate that so much because I heard that the Steelers wanted to go early and the Vikings wanted to stay with course and go Thursday, and they settled both on going Thursday.
I mean, maybe
I
this
didn't
is
know it was in
why
there.
they've realized that there's some competitive advantage to it, so the NFL wants to squash that out.
Hey, but yeah, but like that's like the entirety of the NFL is having some sort of competitive advantage when you can get it. What's preventing the Vikings from leaving earlier than the Steelers? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
By the way, Jordan Addison is back this week. He's off suspension for the Minnesota Vikings, so they get a little more firepower on offense. It'll be Vikings or pass for me. The unknowns this week, Jaden Daniels says that he feels fine, but he still needs to be cleared by team doctors. He's dealing with that knee sprain. Brock Purdy still limited in practice. Mac Jones is limited also. If I end up, I'm still sitting on this 49ers minus 3.5 with my plant the flag bet from Tuesday's episode. If I get Adrian Martinez, I'm going to throw up. So hopefully that does not happen. So it's still turf toe variant situation for Purdy. Hopefully he plays. And then
I was
Justin
on a
Fields
49ers
Monday.
podcast yesterday and they think that Brock Purdy will play.
All right. Like to hear that. What's interesting with that Commanders Falcons game, Stuckey, when we were on Sunday's recap show, I was throwing the Falcons in bet jail. You said, listen, this is the NFL. We might have to just back the Falcons. They were +3 on Sunday night. They are +1.5 now. We've seen some of the most significant line moves this week have been in that game in particular. Did you grab the 3 early? Do you feel good with where you're at? I mean, even still, we don't know what's going on with Jaden Daniels, but the line would dictate that it looks like he's not going to play.
No, I mean this is what I would make it with Daniels. That's +3 is a horrible line in my opinion. It was just an overreaction to what we just saw with the Falcons. And it's not like the Commanders have been great. Like they got a bunch of special teams plays last week. They were dominated by the Packers and they beat Russell Wilson in week 1. I think this team is overrated coming into the year, due for some massive regression on late downs. So yeah, I grabbed the 3. First bet I made this week. Feel good about it. I'd still play the Falcons at +1.5. And there are other injuries too with the Commanders. You got McLaurin. They have D-backs that are hurt. They have other wide receivers that are hurt
McLaurin's
too.
getting a second evaluation.
Yeah, I assume he's going to be out. So I love the Falcons here. This is also fits a. Let me pull up uh, my sheet here. This fits like 3 different things that I love. Falcons off a shutout loss. Dogs off a shutout loss, 46, 29, and 3 against the spread, 61%. Dogs off a 30-plus point loss, 115, 77, and 8 against the spread, 60%. You're talking about big sample sizes over 25 years, 60+%. Why is that? Nobody, look like what you guys were saying on Sunday. You wanted to put them in bet jail. You didn't want to bet them. Nobody wants to bet the team that they just saw get shut out or lose by 30, but it's the NFL. Teams are never as bad or as good as they look. The other teams that fit those 30-plus point losses, the Bengals, who I did bet on Monday night at 7.5, and the Saints, who I probably will bet at 15.5. I think it's just too many. The Saints were actually not that bad on a down-to-down basis. They were just killed by special teams. But yeah, with all the injuries on the Commanders across the board, against the Falcons, who I like their defensive improvements. I expect Penix to bounce back. I know he was awful last week, but I like Atlanta. I mean, Penix was good enough in Minnesota against that defense to get the win. And they should be able to run on Washington. And even if Daniels plays, I doubt he's going to be 100%. He's not going to be as effective with his legs. So, yeah, give me Atlanta at home all day.
I mean, this is just one of those that you're probably right. And yet when you watch these teams play, and the Commanders have looked pretty buttoned up so far this season, outside of what the Packers were able to do to them defensively. But this Falcons team looks like a wreck.
You're crazy
And,
for real.
I mean,
Crazy.
What do you mean
If
the week
they-
before? The week before they should have beat the Bucks in week 1, and then
Okay, they beat
they won at Minnesota in
right.
pretty
I mean,
dominant fashion. So you're just
the
going off
defense
one
looked good.
one
JJ
data
McCarthy was a disaster. I mean, people in Minnesota are saying, "Hey, maybe Carson Wentz."
Yeah,
should
but
be
their
the quarterback
defense,
the rest of the
Minnesota's
year.
defense isn't. Like you're just going off of one single data point. Like if we went, that's the same thing of why no one wanted to bet the Dolphins last week except me and a couple others, like just because the Dolphins look so
Like your
bad.
Dolphins play. I
Uh,
encouraged you in that. Don't lump me in
no,
with
I'm
this.
saying how people overreact to all this. I'm not saying every single person, but I mean, if you just went based on I mean, this happens every year in weeks 3 and 4.
But
The
it works both
Browns,
ways. Some
no one wanted
things,
to bet the Browns last week because they lost by 25 to the Ravens. But if you really watched that game, they weren't that bad. It was really just fluky stuff.
I think you're
Um,
right. I can't get there. I think you're right. I can't do it.
the
absolutely. I mean,
Bears, who wanted to bet the Bear? Everyone was betting the Cowboys like they knew the final score last week
well,
against the Bears.
I bet the Bears last
I know.
week.
I'm
So
just giving you examples of all of this. The Bears have looked unbettable. Like you couldn't play
Mom
them.
and dad are fighting.
The Falcons looked like that last week too, but it's 1 week in the NFL. Like that's just how it works in this game.
but it works both ways because some things you don't want to overreact to, and some things you should react to. A good example of that would be, to this point, the Indianapolis Colts. It just felt like, okay, after week one, they blew out the Dolphins. Well, what does that really mean? Well, they're sitting at 3-0 against the spread now. So if you had properly reacted to that, you'd be cashing in on Indianapolis. I think sometimes with the limited sample size, you have to pick and choose, what are you going to react to and what are you not going to react to. And the Falcons are one of those, the way that they have looked, I think I'm willing to react to the point where I'm just not willing to bet them.
I have a solution.
So that's where I'm at with that.
I have a solution. If Stuckey wins this bet this week, you have to bet the Falcons next week. Who do they play?
They're in jail. That's all.
Are they on the Falcons on the bye next week?
Do they have an early bye?
I
think
don't
they might.
see them.
Yeah, they have an early bye week.
I think week 6, you have to bet the Falcons no matter what if he wins this. They're not in bet. They're in bet jail, but if not, they're in bet jail.
Home against the Bills. They'll probably
yes,
off the
this
bye.
is the
That's
solution.
a good spot. That's a good spot too.
All right,
This is the
I'll say this. I'll go all in with this, and I still need to buy this shirt after losing the Dolphins bet head to head with Stuckey. But if the Falcons cover the spread, they don't even need to win. But we're talking about a thin margin here. If they just cover the spread, I will place a half unit bet on the Atlanta Falcons money line against the Buffalo Bills.
Yes,
And
this is the solution.
And by the way, you mentioned the Colts. Yes, there's always one or two exceptions to the rule where a team is going to be significantly better and they're going to outperform the market. But for the most part, in general, in weeks 3, 4, 5, you're better off not overreacting, just as a blanket statement. Because are you going to be able to pick the right ones? If you are, you can make millions of dollars. But I think in general, just this is an overarching theme when you're betting the NFL, don't overreact to 1 week. And that's why these teams who lose by 30 plus have hit on the close 61% against the spread over a 30-year period because no one wants to bet them. Lines usually inflated the next week. So, and it's not always. You don't want to bet all of them blindly. But in this case, I'm on the Falcons, especially when you throw in the Commanders' injuries.
I like it.
Like you said, I think if you're gonna blanket it and just say, okay, in general, we're not gonna overreact, then you put yourself in a position where you have to bet all of those teams in order to hit the percentages. So you have to be on the Falcons, the Saints, and the Bengals.
I am on offer.
Well, then I mean,
I sometimes, depending on the matchups, depending on what I project the number as well. There's other things that go into it, but
right.
I will be on all three this weekend.
I respect that. Like if
Me
you're gonna
too.
go,
You're putting
if you're
them on
gonna
the
go
table,
all
man.
in, exactly. If you're gonna go all in with the let's not overreact, then you have to blanket it. You gotta cover the board with the teams that we would overreact to, and that in that sense, the percentages will work in your favor. I'm not willing.
Not guaranteed
to. Do that.
They could easily go 0-3. Again, it's small sample sizes, but that's kind of my philosophy when betting the NFL. So now when we get to our parlay, I don't even know what you guys are going to choose. Man,
How are we a month into this season? I'm freaking out.
I can't believe next week is week 5. That is very strange. But it is time for the artist formerly known as the Three Musketeers parlay. Took a couple of L's from the overlords at Action have said that the Three Musketeers have to go 6 feet under. So, what are we calling this thing? We have 3 options right now. We'll allow some write-in candidates for the listeners out there. This is your show at the end of the day. 2 kings and a queen is one option. Cash or trash, or the trifecta ticket for the 3-leg parlay. Do you have early votes, by the way, guys?
I like cash or trash.
2 kings and a queen would be my vote for now, but I'm going to think on it.
I'll sit this out. I'm going to let the listeners decide what we end up with. So this is where we nominate 2 plays each, see if we can find some general consensus on the board and eventually land on our team built parlay. I'll get us started since I had the lone dub last week with the Chicago Bears, a team that I did not have in bet jail. I'm going to tee up the Colts Rams over 49.5 or the Giants plus 6.5. So the reasoning for the over for me is the one thing I can trust on both sides of these teams. I think the Colts might be a fraud, but I don't really want to bet against them. And I also think the Rams could be mentally broken after the way that they just melted down the stretch, up 19 against the Philadelphia Eagles. So what can I trust in this game? It's the offenses. Puka Nacua has been the best wide receiver in the NFL. Jonathan Taylor's been the best running back in the NFL. And
You just diss Amon-Ra?
Well, I mean, statistically, Puka has been the guy. He has the most yards in the league. But really, this comes down to the Colts defense. I think if the Colts are fraudulent, Danny Dimes is efficient. Jonathan Taylor's a good back. They have a good offensive line. I don't think any of that is fraudy. But the Colts rank dead last in the NFL at stopping teams from converting first downs. They also have 0 stops in the red zone. That's not going to bode well on the road against the Sean McVay-led offense. So I think a lot of points are going to be scored in this game. I go over 49.5.
I'm probably gonna go the over. I think I like that better. Even though I threw an option out in this game, I agree with you about the point scoring. And I can't I can't get on the Giants. I can't get on the Giants. I can't do it. They might be in bet jail for me.
See, this is where I like a good gross play too, Stuckey. I'm going to go with the Giants plus 6.5 as my other one. A rookie making his first start in the NFL against Jim Harbaugh. Not been profitable. Jim Harbaugh 4-0 against the spread in games where he's going up against a rookie quarterback since joining the Chargers. Thank you, Evan Abrams, for that one. But betting the Chargers just feels way too easy here. 3-0 against the spread. They don't have the travel advantage. 10 a.m. body clock game for them. And I think Daboll's smart enough to know, let's dial back the offense. Let's run it with Scattaboo. Let's get easy first downs with Jackson Dart and his legs. And perhaps even pull an upset against the team that has performed over expectation 3 weeks in a row in the LA Chargers. So those are the 2 options. Stuckey, where's your vote?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I still can't figure out the Colts. Like they're the one team that I'm like, all right, hit pause on. But the Colts aren't fast; they're slow. The Rams are McVay's so conservative at times, and the Rams have this hidden advantage with their kickoffs. They're like pinning teams down and they're starting within at the 15-yard line. They're doing these like knuckleball line drives. The Eagles could not figure it out by starting field position. Like the worst in the league is the 49ers. Teams are starting at, of course, the 49ers special teams is a joke. Teams are starting at like the 34-yard line on average. The team against the Rams, teams are starting at like the 20. It's like a 14-yard difference. So longer fields, Rams. So I can't get there because I still don't have a good feel on the Colts. Although Kenny Moore's out, could be a big loss for the Colts defense. So I'm going to go with the Giants because I'm going to be betting them myself. And I think that the offensive line injuries for the Chargers are major. And remember, they already lost their right tackle, Rashawn Slater, or their left tackle, and then Alt had to move over before the year. And it was a disaster last week, and 3 of those guys didn't practice. So I'm going to go with the Giants. So we need...
Our Jesus Christ didn't get raptured.
Evan
it's time for Evan Abrams to tie break.
Yes.
Mr. New York.
Evan, who you got? Colts, Rams over, Giants plus 6.5.
I'll take the Giants. I mean, I've been waiting for 7, so there's the reason I haven't gotten there. And I figure
same. That's what I'm waiting for too.
Come in. But I think the Rams and Giants are the right sides. I just think it depends on the number.
I feel like that episode of Peppa Pig where his friend calls him and he's like, "Can you whistle?" And he finds out he can't whistle and he just hangs up the phone.
Are we supposed to remember episodes of Peppa Pig? I did
What
not
is,
prepare
I've
for
never
this.
even heard of that. What is
Oh
Peppa
my
Pig?
God. You better get with it. You're about to be a dad. Peppa
Yeah.
Pig's still a thing.
For sure.
Is it a cartoon?
Yeah. It's like
Uh,
a really, really teeny, like tiny kids show.
It's for like 5-year-olds.
Yeah, it's still you will be I guarantee in 3 years you will be well rehearsed in Peppa Pig.
is it like songs and stuff? Is that?
It's just like a little kid show about like English, like they're British pigs, and it's kind of cute. I like it.
Somehow I've avoided Peppa Pig, but Stuckey, what do you got?
I'm trying to think. What was
So we're on
my
the
favorite
Giants.
show? What was your favorite show growing up as a little kid?
The Cartoon Network was so popular when I was little. Johnny
Little
Bravo
kid.
zooms to the Scooby Doo. I was a big Scooby Doo kid.
Rugrats was probably mine when I was really young. Are you too old for Rugrats, Kendra?
I'm too young for
I mean,
Rugrats.
too young.
Yeah, Rugrats are like on their way out
Okay.
when I was
Let's. All right. So I'll give my two are the Falcons, who I already gave, and I'll also give. What are my other options here? I'll tell you what I'm going to play or played. I agree with Evan.
you put the Jags in the notes.
Yeah, I will. We're going to get to the Jags. So
Stuckey and I are in. We are like
I am in hell.
We are like two Rams butting heads right now.
I am in hell.
He's on
I
the
feel
like
Jags too.
no, this is genuinely when you're a little kid and your parents are arguing in the kitchen and you're just sitting there trying to eat your mac and cheese in peace and you're not supposed to hear them fighting. This is literally what I feel like right now. My parents are fighting in the kitchen.
Kendra's having all sorts of flashbacks.
You don't
today.
like these? I'll give three options. I already mentioned the Falcons. I won't
like
make
the
you guys.
Falcons.
I won't make you guys consider the Saints.
I could consider the Saints.
And
That's
I
a
won't
big
make the
number.
people bet the Saints.
Falcons.
Let's see. The other two I'll throw out there are the Jags. The 49ers injuries are devastating. And even if Purdy plays, I don't think he's going to be fully healthy. I don't know if he's going to be able to drive. And they have the Rams on Thursday night. So and they're already 3-0. So they might just be cautious with some of their injuries. There's injuries at wide receiver, on defense, the offensive line. Both quarterbacks are hurt. And with a divisional game on Thursday, they might go super conservative. I like what I've seen from the Jags, and they're in much better shape health-wise. They just need to stop dropping balls. But they're so much better coached. Their offensive scheme under Liam Cohen, their defensive structure, and what the coverages they're running on the back end, instead of just running man with personnel you don't have to run man like they did all last year. So Jags at over a field goal with all the San Fran injury uncertainty. And then I'll throw out the Pats.
At 5.5 though, that's
Yep.
crazy.
Pats minus 5.5. The Panthers aren't gonna be able to move the ball. And Christian Gonzalez should be back. That's huge.
He is back.
Secondary. And the Pats are
Gonzalez
moving the
back.
ball up and down the field. They should have won last week. Panthers, by the way, off of a shutout win. Dogs off a shutout win historically, 31% against the spread. Think about your reaction just now. Who wants you take the Panthers are getting 5.5. They just won 30-0. Well, historically, dogs after a shutout win 31.5%. So I'll throw them out. They're going to move the ball on this Panthers defense, and I think the Panthers they're going to lose at the line of scrimmage.
McMillan also hurt.
Yeah, Patriots,
I'm taking the Falcons.
Jags, and Falcons.
Falcons. Kravitz.
I mean, that just morally, I can't. I would rather, and I took a sprinkle in the Panthers money line just in case what happened last week was real. If that's the case, then they'll hang with New England and at least be in it at the end of the game at 2-1 odds. I felt like that was a bet that I had to at least sprinkle on. The Panthers are dealing with a load of injuries with wide receivers as well, and they were dealing with that coming into the season. They might not be.
And they
able
have
to
they're
throw
down
at
two
all.
offensive linemen starters as well.
I mean, the Panthers plus the points, definitely not the right side. I don't think the Patriots are worthy favorites of that sort of margin, but I'm already on the 49ers. I think I would say the Patriots would be my vote. Evan, you might have to break the tie.
Okay, yep. Jesus is
between
coming.
Patriots and Falcons.
Is the choice between Patriots and Falcons? I thought we were talking Jaguars.
Well,
Nope,
Jaguars are in there
Patriots,
too, and if you
But they didn't get any votes.
if you pick the Jags, then I break the tie on my own.
I love the Jags at 3.5. That would be I would touch Carolina at 6. Aside from that, I kind of agree with both of you. I wouldn't touch Carolina or New England. That's a pass spot. I need to learn more about both of those teams to make the bet. I think the Jaguars bet's great.
All right,
Did
so we're
you
going
guys
Jags,
just,
especially for Kendra's gonna be there. So
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. I feel like you guys had like a pre-show meeting where you were like, she's gonna be there.
yeah, we have to go with the Jags. All right, so we got Jags and Giants.
I can't even do this. I can't even put this in the app. This is my first bet this week was the 49ers.
Well, it's you can make up for the loser now.
I'm
Well,
having a heart attack. I've
My
had too
cat
much
and my cat
caffeine.
is so upset she just ran over my equipment.
My
over
dog
here.
just jumped and is snuggling my ghost pillow now.
All right, so what do you got, Kendra? What are your choices you're bringing?
All right. I am bringing the Rams to cover or the Ravens to cover. I'm putting a gun to both of your head. It seems like Evan already gave his opinion in this. I think that this is probably easy for both of you. I was just feeling hee hee ha ha silly. You guys are going the Rams, I figure.
Damn, this is. I mean,
I
we
can't
haven't.
bet I'm a Ravens fan. I usually have a good read on them. I can't go the Ravens with all their injuries. So for me, yeah, I mean, I wish it was 3. And if the Rams do get to 3, I will bet it. But I do like the Rams this week, especially with the Kenny Moore injury. And
This is so good.
yeah, give me the Rams.
This is great.
The fact that I hate this parlay so much probably means it's
Means
the
it's
first
gonna
one that's
hit.
gonna come home. So I'll take I'll take the Rams as my vote minus 3.5.
This is incredible.
Rams, Jags, and
Giants.
I'm telling you guys, my Sunday video for socials after I have a couple beers, if they lose this game or win this game, is going to be an absolute all-timer. I might get beat up by a 49ers fan.
I can't wait to watch those. Yeah, be careful. The 49ers fans can be.
I know.
Be
A
vicious.
49ers fan pulled my hair in Jacksonville at the game last time they played. Literally a grown-ass man pulled my hair.
At least it's not like it's the Jags, so at least it's not like a Dodgers Giants game or by the way, we didn't mention even the luck matchup of the week. Check out Nick Giffin's luck rankings on the Action Network app. The 2 luckiest teams. I'm in the luck rankings, I'm the unluckiest one. The 2 luckiest teams in the league by far are playing each other in the Eagles and the Bucks. And I'm not just saying that, it's a formula. They've been extremely lucky every single week. And I've faded them 5 times already, of course, the 2 luckiest teams. So, and I'm 1-4. And I almost went
I think it's
0-5
an Eagles game.
if the Jets don't block that field goal. So those are the two luckiest teams. A lot of injuries to monitor for the Bucks. I got nothing there, but I just wanted to mention the luck rankings. Make sure you check them out.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's an invaluable resource. Chris Godwin might be back for Tampa Bay. They need that because Mike Evans is out. Tristan Wirfs has been practicing.
Egbuka's hurt.
Yeah, and Baker Mayfield, by the way, dealing with a right bicep injury. That's his throwing arm. But that is definitely something to monitor. I don't think you should touch that game until we get more information on Sunday. All right, there we go. It's locked in. We got the Rams minus 3.5. We get the Jags plus 3.5. We get the Giants plus 6.5 as our newly named parlay. Keep it locked on all of the Action Network social channels, and we'll get your vote on what we call this thing moving forward. That's going to do it for today's episode. Special thanks to the producers, Gifford Gould and David Payne. The favorites will return. No show on Sunday night. We'll be back on Tuesday afternoon right here on the Action Network YouTube page when we talk NFL Week 5. Kendra, have fun in San Francisco. Stuckey, good luck as we go head-to-head this week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on the Favorites Podcast. Let's cash these tickets.
Let go.